Hey guys, what's going on? James here, and today we are back playing some more of our Madden Buccaneers franchise. I'm so sorry that I've been very inaccurate with uploading these. I'm going to record a crap ton today. It's been such a long time since I've last recorded. This is currently January 3rd of 2015. It has been months since I've last recorded. So I'm going to record a crap ton today in bulk. Anyway, so I went ahead and I did a bunch of scouting. I'm sorry I didn't really show you guys, but I figured it's pretty boring and I didn't know if you guys wanted to see it. So at any rate, we're going to go ahead and go to the draft. Now there's going to be some surprises in this draft maybe. So I have the first guys I want here on this piece of paper. Or envelope. I wrote it on an envelope, and then I went ahead and I wrote a backup plan just in case I did not get the guy I wanted. So yeah, without further ado, let's go ahead and head into the draft. Advancing week. We're advancing the week. Let's see what happens. I wonder what's gonna happen. Yeah. Ooh. Alright, so we got the free agency recap. That's pretty cool. And then we have the draft itself. Let's go ahead and go look at that recap, actually. Alright, I'm not going to look at anything yet. My signings. So we signed Rob Baronis, Geno Hayes, Darius Butler, Jasper Brinkley, Dwayne Harris, and Marquise Flowers. I actually had to remind myself of, like, the whole roster because, it's been that long. Anyway, league signings. Let's go to quarterback. So Matt Flynn's a Cowboy, Mallett's a Cardinal, Josh Freeman is a 49er, Brian Hoyer's a Giant, Scott Tolzien's a Bill, Keenum's back with the Texans, Vic's a Lion. That's kind of cool. Let me see if there's any more big names. Nothing really. Colt McCoy's a Jet. That's kind of cool. Taj Boyd. I like Taj Boyd. He's a Dolphin now. And Alex Taney's a Giant, and Connor Shaw's a Redskin. All right, at running back, no, Sean Marino's a Viking. I don't know what happened to AP. Regardless, Shane Vereen's a Lion. Chris Johnson's a Patriot. Jaquez Rogers a Jet. Fred Jackson's with the Falcons now. Ingram's a Ram. So, okay. So our rival does gain a pretty decent running back. That's really it. They also got Darren McFadden. Okay. Steven Jackson. Okay. And I think that's really it. Let's check out wide receiver. Wes Welker to the Jets. Pierre Garçon, a Jaguar. Hakeem Nicks, the Brown. Greg Jennings, the Raider. Amendola, the Titan. Mike Williams is with the Jaguars now. Reggie Wayne's a Seahawk. Oh, gosh. That's actually kind of scary thought. Kenny Britt's a Falcon. Anything else, really? Sidney Rice is going back to the Vikings. All right, my dog. I love Sidney Rice. Denario Alexander. So they're getting significantly taller over there in Minnesota. Jordan Cameron's a Jet. Mercedes Lewis is back with the Jaguars. Jared Cook's a Raider. Okay. That's really it. David Osbury, Steelers. Left tackle, Nate Soldier, Andrew Whitworth. Alright. I think that's really it. Let's see. Brandon Spikes is a Eagle. AJ Hawk, a Patriot. Alright, Malcolm Smith, a Jaguar. Jaguars are getting significantly better, actually. Huh. And, yeah, Devin McCourty to the Redskins. And I think we actually lost out on a Marquette King. Yeah, he went to the Steelers. Oh, well, I have a plan. And Antoine Roll, the Panther. All right. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this draft. So, the New York Jets are up with the #1 overall pick. Let me go ahead and turn up the game audio volume. Is that even... That's not even going, really. Not for me, at least. I don't know. Maybe it'll go for you guys. Anyway, with the #1 overall pick, the New York Jets select
Now that the Jets have made their pick,
Manessa
let's go to Adam
Blair.
Schefter to hear more about him. He's a ferocious defender whose speed makes him a nightmare for offenses when he blitzes. After setting the team record for sacks in a game, he soared up draft boards. Scouts I spoke with raved about his football IQ, feeling he could captain a defense in a matter of years. Sources tell me that aside from his fierce reputation to get to the quarterback, his true value is that he can impact the game mentally as well as physically. Opposing offensive coordinators will need to give great thought to assigning a back or tight end to stay at home and block him during pass plays. This eliminates an offensive weapon and shifts the balance of power to the defense. Not many linebackers in this league garner that type of attention, making him a special talent.
All right, guys, so let's go ahead and the New York Giants select with the number 2 overall pick.
Let's go to Adam Schefter now
Zach
with more to
Sampson.
say about Sampson.
The foundation of any good team starts up front, and here's a guy who's a franchise's dream come true. GMs I talked to pointed to several of his games in college where he took on some of the nation's best defensive linemen, going toe-to-toe with them for 60 minutes of brutal trench combat and dominating them. He's going to be able to protect the franchise quarterback in addition to opening up holes for the run game. With size, speed, and strength, he should have a very successful NFL career.
All right, guys, so with the number 3 overall pick, the Jacksonville Jaguars select
The Panthers are now
Broderick Nicholas. All right, so with the number 4 overall pick, the Panthers select...
The Browns are now
Oh, no, it's a trade. Steven Drummond, cornerback for the Atlanta Falcons. All right, well, dang. All right, so with the number 5 overall pick, the Cleveland Browns select Pierre Blanchard. No, another trade. Oh, my gosh, Pierre Blanchard. Oh, my gosh, the Bears. All right, so with the number 6 overall pick, the Panthers select Akeem Foreman. All right. So with the number 7 overall pick, the Saints select Quentin Franklin. With the number 8 overall pick, the Vikings select
The Ravens
Leo Machele. With the number 9 overall pick, the Ravens select Brent Mincy. All right.
Coming off a solid college season leading a run-first offense, eyes were open when they caught a video made by his family demonstrating what one scout called, quote-unquote, freakish arm strength. In the video, he can be seen consistently throwing the ball 70 to 75 yards in the air with a perfectly tight spiral. While most were impressed, several of my sources expressed growing concerns with his value fading due to personal dependencies. Without an offensive line able to buy him enough time or receivers that are able to gain proper separation, he likely would never be able to show off his greatest asset. Draft expert Todd McShay was very vocal in disagreeing with...
All right, guys, I'm so sorry I had to cut right there, but we're back now. Ravens selected Brett Mincy. With the number 10 overall pick, the Arizona Cardinals select Kane Glears. All right. And with the number 11 overall pick, the Browns select Dante Chisholm. Okay.
What can you tell us about this guy?
Like football, rugby's a sport that's played with guys of all shapes and sizes. In his case, he was one of the big guys pushing and pulling blocks in the center of the pitch. He was playing rugby for a university in Australia before he was recruited to transfer and play football for 2 seasons here in America. His first year was spent adjusting to the game, getting used to the different rules and how to play his position properly. The guy even had to adjust how he tackled now that he had to wear pads and a helmet. But his second year is really where we started to see what he could potentially do. He's a physical player at the line of scrimmage. The team was able to pick up a good addition to its line with a bit of an interesting history.
All right, guys, so with the number 12 overall pick, the Colts select
The Raiders
Alan Ash. All right. With the number 13 overall pick, the Oakland Raiders are going to select Anton Strudevant. With the number 14 overall pick, the Rams select Richard Hartley. With the number 15 overall pick, the Redskins select Deron Kilgore. Okay. The Titans select Vince Harden. All right. The Bengals pick up Marquise Chisholm.
Matt
All
Miller
right.
told me to look at a certain stat in regards to this defensive back, and that's average number of targets in a game. Not surprisingly, you see that number start to fall each week. He was a master of the bait and switch early in the year, on track to break records midway through the season. Eventually, quarterbacks gave up altogether trying to throw the ball in his direction, essentially taking away a receiver on every play. There's going to be an adjustment period now that he's in the NFL, but he certainly has the potential to be a shutdown defender for this team in the future.
All right, and with the number 18 overall pick, the Kansas City Chiefs
The Browns
select
are now on the
Mac
clock.
Tulliver. With the number 19 overall pick, the Cleveland Browns select.
Cowboys are now
All
on
right.
the clock.
Sally Fleming. All right. And with the number 20 overall pick, the Cowboys
Cowboys have
select
made their
Dom
selection,
Albert.
And it's Albert.
Well, there isn't much to say other than this kid was born to run. He's the spitting image of his father, a nationally ranked sprinter in several major events, and highly recruited by every major college. However, unlike his dad, he chose to pursue a career in football, and so far that decision is paying off. He may not be gold medal fast, but he has the speed and quickness to cause fits for the opposing team. He's the type of player you like to see out in the open field where he can make moves a lot of other players can't. The coaches are going to love having his speed at their disposal.
All right. So with the number 21 overall pick, the Houston Texans select
The Seahawks are now on the clock.
Darius Miller. All right. So with the number 22 overall pick, the Seattle Seahawks select
The Dolphins are now
Andre
on the clock.
Pruitt. All right. With the number 23 overall pick, the Miami Dolphins select
The Eagles are now on the
Lennox Aguirre. All right. With the number 24 overall pick, the Philadelphia Eagles
clock.
select
The Steelers are
Damon
now on the
Lindsey. With the number 25 overall pick, the Pittsburgh Steelers
clock.
select
The Buccaneers are now on
Solomon
the clock.
Duncan. All right. So here's the thing. We're at our pick right now, and they took my first guy and my second guy. I had free safety as my first round pick, and it was gonna be Sally Fleming. They took him, and then Darius Miller got picked up a short time after. So I don't really know what to do right now. I could trade down, which might actually be. Yeah, that's going to be my best option at this point because there's not a free safety for a long time. I don't have any more plans, so let's see the trade offers we can get. So, all right, so a lot of people, so we could get another 5th round pick from the Bears as well as their 1st round pick next year. We could get another 4th and another 6th this year from the Saints as well as their 1st round pick next year. We could get a 1st and 3rd from the Redskins. I'm thinking let's take yeah, we're going to go with this. We're going to go with Cincinnati's only because I already have my draft sort of planned out and I can just use those picks in the future. So we're going to go with Cincinnati's and we get a 4th, another 4th this year anyway. So yeah, let's go ahead and see who the Bengals pick
The
up.
Packers are now
Asian
on the clock.
House, all right. The Packers are going to pick up
The Chargers
Timothy
are now on the clock.
Childers. Okay. Chargers
Porter
get.
is the pick,
Oh
Adam.
no,
What do you
another
know?
trade. The Bengals
Every
get
year,
Andre
the rookie who
Porter.
runs the fastest 40 at the combine seems to immediately become very popular with NFL scouts. So after turning in the fastest time of his class, he's in the spotlight ever since. On top of that, his shuttle and 3-cone times also help solidify the fact that he's just plain fast. The team could definitely use an injection of speed, and this is a step in the right direction.
All right, so let's go ahead and see who the Patriots pick up.
Lions are
Oh,
now
a
on the
trade. Okay, the Bears pick up Davian Bailey. The
The
Lions
49ers
get
are now on the
Andre Carpenter. Okay. The San Francisco 49ers select.
clock. The Broncos
Oh, no, it's
are
a
now on
trade.
the clock.
The Saints pick up Brian Peters. And the Broncos pick up
The Jets are now on
Cassius
the
Houston. All right. Now we're into the 2nd round. We have pick 26, so I'm definitely going to try and hurry up. Yeah, so let's see.
clock. The Giants are now on
Detrius Newton. Okay, Giants
the clock. The
select
Jaguars
John
are now on the
Silva.
clock.
Jaguars
The
select
Panthers are
Tobias
now on the
Lindsay. Okay,
The
Panthers select.
Bills
Oh,
are
nope.
now on the clock.
Okay. 49ers trade for Piercing Boykin. Bills pick
The
up
Falcons are now on the
Brohan
clock.
Petit. Okay, Falcons pick up
All right, let's go to Adam Schefter,
Bensley
who's got more on
Bars.
this pick.
Nobody really knew about him until he was asked to fill in at the All-Star game for an injured player. He came to the first practice, and from that moment on, he was the center of attention. He played lights out and looked to handle himself really well, matched up against top-tier talent. He stole the show and left the All-Star game shooting up draft boards around the league. The coach is going to love having a guy like him on the team, and I can't wait to see what he does when the season rolls around.
All right, so the Saints pick up with their with their pick,
The Vikings
Douglas
are now on
Martinez. The Vikings pick
The
up
Ravens are now
Lewis
on the clock.
Haynes. The Ravens pick up
Cardinals are
Spencer
now on the
Walls. The Cardinals get
Shefty now
Morgan
with more on
Sullivan. All right.
Mid-season struggles look to have doomed his draft prospects as he put up lackluster numbers in several consecutive games. As a result of his consistent poor play, several scouts decided not to show up for his pro day. When word of this reached draft experts like Matt Miller, he began free-falling in several influential mock drafts. Scouts that decided to attend his pro day were treated to a show of sheer athleticism. They saw a player that looked like he had a chip on his shoulder, one scout even telling me that seeing the negative media attention may have been the wake-up call he needed to take his game to the next level. He now will have the opportunity to prove his doubters wrong in the NFL, but a part of me wonders whether or not he'll play with the same passion and intensity once the doubters are silenced.
All right, so the Cleveland Browns
The
pick up
Colts are now on the
Najee
clock.
Kane. The Colts
The
get
Raiders are now on the
Kayshawn
clock.
Pierce. The Raiders pick up
The Rams are now
Tommy
on the clock.
Willis. All right. The St. Louis Rams are going to pick up
The Vikings
Brock
are now on the
Finch. Okay. The Minnesota Vikings
Vikings
pick
have
up
just made
Abraham
Green their newest
Green.
player.
This is a player that many felt could be a solid role player in the NFL, but not a dominant force. That train of thought changed after one of the best defensive performances the college All-Star game has ever seen. At times, it seemed as if he were everywhere on the field during the game, disrupting both the run and pass game for the opposition. Several scouts I spoke with pointed to that performance as evidence he could dominate at a high level, and sources have told me that more than one general manager felt he was the type of defender you could build a franchise around. Now all that's left for him to prove is if the All-Star game was an aberration or a sign of things to come.
All right, so the Tennessee Titans are
The
going to get
Chargers
Eric
are now on the
Wilson.
clock.
The Chargers are
The
going to get
Chiefs are now on the
Gerard
clock.
Haynes. The Chiefs are going to pick
The
up
Browns are now on the
Ego
clock.
Hightower. The Browns are going to get
The Cowboys are now on the
J.T.
clock.
Stevens. The Dallas Cowboys are going to
The
get
Texans are now on the clock.
Kamari Walton. The Texans are going
The
to get
Raiders are now on the
Rashawn
clock.
Grove. The Raiders are going to pick
The
up
Dolphins are now on the
Colby
clock.
Garrett. All right. The not the Minnesota Vikings. The Miami Dolphins are going to
The
get
Dolphins have just picked up Barkley. Adam, what can you